Alright, this is the first part of the video. We're going to go from easy to hardest on converting the externally regulated alternator wiring harness, section of your wiring harness, to fit an internally regulated. Now you need to go ahead and research on how to hook this up. It's very simple. We're going to run the batteries on the same wire, and the only difference is this wire right here, number 2, the number 2 section, number 2, this side, needs to be connected to the positive again. This is just off of a 79 Monte Carlo with a 350 in it. You know, if you don't know about the application. Now, pay attention to the one you have, because they have 2 positions. This would be like a 12 o'clock position, and then this one would be what they call a 3 o'clock position, because it's got the plug in the 3 o'clock position. And they do have one of these in the 12 o'clock position if that really, you know, if you may run into some kind of issue with the wire in front of a bracket. So just know that there are 2 of these. The other one would have the plug right here, and then this red thing down here. So be aware of that. This one you have 1 and 2, or A and B, or whatever, blue and white. Okay, so these 2 are going to go to your regulator. This is going to be the F position, the blue, and then number 2 position on your voltage external regulator. Okay. All right. So now on this one, we got 1 and 2. 1 is like a remote or something for your dummy light. This one, all I really know about this one, it just needs to be connected to hot. Okay, so I'm going to show you a basic way to wire this up, but first I'm going to go over a little secret, and you'll thank me for this. All right, let's go ahead and let's pretend that this is off of our car. All right, keep these separate because they'll have metric and standard, so don't just, obviously that's a standard bolt, a metric bolt on there. Metric. Alright, let's go ahead and move this guy over here. Now he's ready to go. And I'm going to show you a trick right here, alright? You're going to either get you a plug like this, you can go to a junkyard, let's say you want for $1. There's several different GM plugs that fit this alternator. This is off of the AC or something, but the real one's going to have some kind of little tab or something, but it sticks in there and it's fine. So just look for a plug. These wires, they all use the same fittings inside of these clips for years. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the wires out of this and just transfer them into this plug. That way we don't have to cut and splice anything. Nobody ever tells you that kind of stuff. Take a pick, go on there one side, they have a little tab, push it in, and then the wire should slide right out. And you can see that little thing that we pushed in. Push them in, pull it out. Now we got this plug. Alright, now whenever you're rewiring this harness, you want to put the blue wire on the number 1 position. The left, 1, 2, you can barely see them. Alright, take this out, do the same thing, get that out. This plug, you really don't need it, but go ahead and save it just in case somebody might want that, so don't throw it away. Alright, so find which way this plug's going to fit in there. Mine wants to fit in there like this. Alright, now we're going to put the blue on the one side. Now go to your little wires. And I'm going through the whole thing for people that don't know this, okay? You need to get these little tabs back out because they're going to lock these into the... Okay, blue wire on the outside. Oh yeah, find the way this fits, and then you're going to want the blue wire. See it snapped in? Snapped in. So we changed this without even messing with the harness at all, and now we can, once it's on the car, we can plug that right up, and that is ready to go. Alright, now this part of the video is understanding this piece right here. This is the horn relay. It's going to be found right next to your voltage regulator, and we need to understand these parts before we can start cutting anything out. But the whole point of this video is we're going to cut this regulator completely out of the harness, and we're going to make it look like it never existed. Real quickly, we're going to try to understand this horn relay before we start cutting wires out, trying to clean this harness up. Okay, so you got these two up here that are next to each other. They're for your horn. So small wires are always signal wires, 20 gauge, and then the relay energizes, and the relay is going to send power to the 16 gauge black that's going to go to your horns. So the small wires are always signal wires. This pink and black one goes to your directional signal switch, and it's going to go to your key buzzer, something like that. But these two small ones, the key buzzer is alone in its own little box, and the horn relay. Okay, so on this side, this kind of acts like a little junctioning block right here, and this horn relay. Now this side also acts as a junctioning block off your other junction block. Okay, so this fuse link wire right here, this one, look for a fuse link. You have to have that fuse link on there. You need to have that on there. This is going to go back to your dash. And it's going to go to the plug, the harness on the fuse box. So make sure that's in there. Do continuity test. Make sure there's fuse links in there, or put some kind of fuse on the one that goes back to the dash. Alright, this was for some kind of accessory. I don't know, but it's a 10 gauge black wire, so it was from the factory, but it was for some, maybe an amp meter. I don't know. Who cares? Who knows? But you're going to run accessories off of this, and this is where you're going to fuse them. You know, so run some kind of fuse. But you have 12 volts right here, straight from your battery. And then this other wire right here, this other red one back here, this is a 10 gauge red wire that runs straight to this. They're going to have this mass crimp section in here, and then that mass crimp section is going to go over to your regulator. So let's go over the regulator. I just want you to understand that you need to have this on here, just kind of idea of what it is. You can study it, find diagrams of it. This is what we're going to eliminate out of the harness. It has positions F2, 3, 4. F and 2 go to the alternator, and 3 has a fuse link that goes to that mass crimp section that I'm gonna show you how to cut this out. And then number 4 goes back to your dash. This would be like the dummy light signal back to your dash. Okay, so we don't really need to get into this. You can study this on your own, but I want to get this out of here, and we're gonna try to make this harness look like it never had it in there. So let's try to take a look at the harness before. So we're gonna cut this out, and we're gonna save this, and we're gonna cut this out. Okay, let's get started. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start cutting in here, and we're gonna try to find that mass section where these wires are crimped together, because we're gonna cut the wire. Because we need to find the wire in this crimp section, because we're gonna cut this wire out of it, going to this regulator. And everything that I'm doing is not gonna. That's the whole point of this video, is I'm showing you how to do it where it doesn't affect anything, where you can still you know, where it's not gonna hurt anything at all. Because a lot of people, they tell you about this kind of stuff, but they never, oh yeah, all you do is connect that wire to that wire, it's real simple. But you're just like, okay, what are you talking about? They just tell you enough to confuse you, and then you wonder if they really know what they're talking about in the first place. Alright, so we're just going to split this harness open. Until we find it, and there it is. You can see in there, it's like a big tarry looking thing. We're going to go ahead and cut it down here. we're gonna rewrap this. This stuff's brittle anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I hate to cut this factory stuff if it's soft. When you find that section with the 4 wires in there, we're gonna take the regulator and we're gonna go ahead and cut the wires so we can trace it back easier. So we're gonna cut the 3 position with the fuse link, and if you want to save this wire, you can. So you know, if you think that fuse link might be valuable to you, take it out just like we took the other wire out, like this method. So now you got your fuse link right here that you could use. So let's take it out like that. So we're going to save it, and then we're going to trace that fuse link back to this mass part up here, and get it out of the way. Alright, fuse link's out, and you can see that it goes in right here. We're just going to cut it out, and we're going to retape this. Okay. Sorry, this is a boring video, but I want to show you every single part of it. So this isn't no bullshit magical act video where I'm trying to show you how to do something, but then boom, voila, it's finished. I hate that shit. You know, I always say that to the day that I die. So find where you can cut this out. We're going to cut that straight out, and now you got your fusible link that you can go ahead and save. And then we're going to retape this, and make sure you retape this right. Don't be stupid. Tape the shit out of it. Got that taped up, and tape it better than this. I'm not using this harness. I did my harness already. This is just trying to make a better video than what I had before. I deleted it. Alright, get that thing taped up the best you can. Alright, now that we have all that taped up, the next thing that we want to do is we want to take these two. Remember, these two go to the alternator. This blue wire goes to the number 1 position. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this blue wire, and we need to join it with that wire. So I'm gonna show you what I do is we're just gonna cut them back just to know which wires we're working with. Always save a little bit where you can reuse that plug if you have to, you know, whatever. Now what we're going to do in here is, see, now you have the brown going back to your dash, and then the blue coming from position 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip these wires, find a place that's comfortable where it's flawless, and then we're gonna cut these and crimp them. I'm just gonna crimp these for demonstration purpose, but you need to solder them and make a good connection and heat sink them. We're gonna pretend that this is heat shrunk and soldered. See, now you have the blue from the alternator, position 1, and 2 going back to the dash brown. And see how we're just going to kind of put it back into the wiring harness, and we're going to tape it back in there where it doesn't even matter anymore. Okay, so now we got 1 wire left. Okay, 1 wire left, white wire. Okay, now this is position 2 on the alternator. Okay, and you have a couple of options, well, 2 options, literally a couple. You can either, where this is on the alternator, you can just run position 2 and run it straight, crimp a fitting on it, run it straight off at position 2, put a little fitting on there and tie it to that bolt on the back of the alternator. Alright, I don't want to do it like that. I want mine to look clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this wire right here. White 20 gauge wire. Now we can throw this in the trash, but we're going to save the plug. Bye bye. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to have to we're going to take this one to the horn relay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to undo this, and we're going to run this white wire back as clean as we can. We're going to put an end on it, and we're going to run it back to right here to give it that 12 volts. All right. Okay, we got that off. Now we got this white wire. And I always save little pieces of wire, so when this happens. Remember, we're going back to the horn relay. So we're just going to start with a piece like this. You can run it on either one of these. These just have little slip in. Well, this one doesn't. Alright. So it's a 20 gauge. Find you a little connector that fits in there. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and crimp one in. Make sure it fits in there like it's supposed to. Of course, I'm going to clean this all this up. This is just to show you what's going on. Okay. And then we're going to kind of put that twist in it like it's a natural wire in this harness. Hold it. And then now we're going to go over here and we're going to find a comfortable you know, where this wire isn't in a bind, it's not interfering with anything, where it's just natural. Find you a place where you can crimp it. Find you a place where you can do your splice up to show you. And we got it positioned. We got it positioned in our horn relay, and this white wire is going back to position 2 on the alternator, and that's going to give us that energize to make the system work. So now we got everything, and we can go ahead and tape this back up. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to rough tape it. And we're going to go over this several times, taping it. We're just trying to put it back to get the first one started. This is for your lights. Don't tape that up. All right. All right, there you go. So now what we have, what you have is a wiring harness with the horn relay. Everything's hooked up for your internally regulated alternator to run. Now this thing, we don't need it anymore. It used to kind of hang off right here somewhere, and it's gone now. And you know, we could tape that up better. or whatever, but it's gone, and that's how you do it. Thank you.